How can working with your past lives help you? And why does it matter? So, I'm Sonia Davis, spiritual growth strategist, and if you are new to my channel, you are very welcome here. Let me take those off so I can see you. Look, there you are. This is my Wednesday wanderings, where I come into my local park. I'm right here next to my favourite tree. You'll be familiar with this one by now if you've been here before. By my favourite tree, and I wander around the park or stand by my tree and I answer your questions. So, and this is quite a big one. Past lives. Why does it matter working with past lives? Why would you want to do that work? How far do you go with it? I mean, this is a huge topic. We could go on a long way with this one. We'll see where we go, because I never plan these videos in advance. I always just I kind of lean in, I connect with my tree, and I channel the answers based on what you need right now. So someone watching this will need these answers, however they come out. So yeah, and it's my absolute pleasure to do this with you. So past lifetimes, wow. So let's go back a little bit. Past lifetimes, what are they? I'm assuming if you're here, you're already on board with the concept of past lives. If you're not, frankly, you probably wouldn't be here on my channel, let's be honest. But you might not have worked with them. So let me give you a little bit of background. I believe we are a soul. Our soul initially first fragments from divine source. So we hold that spark of divinity within us, every single one of us. Every single living being, human, animal, plant, this tree, has a spark of divinity, has a soul. And we initially incarnate in a place different for all of us, and that's our soul origin. So for me, I'm Pleiades. I'm actually High Priestess on the Council of Pleiades, called Keisha, and I've merged with her relatively recently, and she's fully integrated as part of me. And there are dozens of different places that you could have originated from, your very first incarnation, and that's where you go, and that's your origin, and that's where you return to after each incarnation as well, as part of your journey. So each lifetime you have, and you have many lifetimes, you learn things. You create a contract, a soul contract, to enter that particular lifetime, whatever it is, whatever form it is, whether that's human or not. And there are certain lessons that you need to learn as a soul in order to continue your journey. And your journey is all about returning to source. So you fragment off from source to go and learn things, and then you eventually loop back round and reconnect with source in its entirety, in its wholeness, and you bring the wisdom and knowledge and lessons that you've learnt along the way. That's my belief. Other opinions are available. But I'm guessing that because you're here, you want to know what I think. So that's what I believe. And each lifetime you have, and they will include non-human ones as much as human ones, you learn things, you have purpose, you have tasks to complete, but each time you complete a lifetime, an incarnation, and then from whatever form you were, you die, and your soul goes through a process of transition and then returns to its original point, its point of origin. So in my case, Pleiades. And you bring the lessons of that journey with you, and then you are assessed and reviewed, and the karmic board has a say in that, and they decide where your next journey needs to be based on the lessons that you still need to learn. So that's a bit of a nutshell. Now, learning your full past life history is quite an ask, and most people don't manage it. There are limitations because we are human. There are certain things that we're not able to access or understand because we are in a human form right now. Some people can go beyond. I'm one of those people. I don't go as far as others though. Doesn't mean I won't in the future. I don't know what the future holds for me right now, but at the moment I connect with all of my human lifetimes, all of my non-human lifetimes on Earth, and I will talk about those a little bit. And also at the moment I'm actually right in the middle of, or I have been recently, healing one of my non-human galactic lifetimes where I was actually Andromedan. And there's all sorts of gnarly stuff that went on there, and there were some really big karmic lessons for me to learn there. Now, I'm not going to dive into all of that right now because that's a much bigger topic for this, and we'll be here for hours if I start going into that. But what I am going to talk about is why past life work is useful. I'm just turning around. There we go, that's better. More comfortable spot to stand and hold the tree. Look, oh, beautiful, love this tree so much. So how can you use past lifetimes and how can it help you? So I'm going to tell you a bit of my story on this again because it might help. So one of the things that I've discovered, and I work, for past lifetime work, I work via the Akashic Records because for me it's a safe and intentional method to access these things. If you don't access them via the Akashic Records, there are other ways you can access them, but for me personally I find this is the way to protect from negative entities and psychic attacks as you're doing it. For me it gives a structure to the work that is harder to do outside of the Akashic Records. As I say, with all of this, other opinions are available, and yeah, there's a magpie right above me shouting, "Hello, magpie." Yeah, there are different ways you can do it, and other people will do it differently. But for me personally, the Akashic Records is where I work my best magic. And in there you can access all of your various lifetimes. Now for me, I'm quite unusual, but that's not really a surprise, is it, if you know me at all? But I have only had 3 previous human lifetimes on Earth. I've had one other lifetime on Earth that wasn't human. I was a blue whale. That was actually my last lifetime before this one. And now there's a helicopter going over. It's all destined to try and get in the way. Do you ever get the feeling the universe is trying to get in your way and stop you doing what you want to do, stop you talking about these things? It happens. We'll be fine. So, my past lifetimes, only 3 previous human lifetimes and 1 as a blue whale on this Earth. So this is my 4th human incarnation. And I know a lot of details about all of those lifetimes, including the one as a whale. I'll focus on the human ones though, because that's easier to talk about and probably more relevant for you. My human lifetimes, one, I was a male in Mayan times, around about 850 BC, something like that. In my second one, I was a peasant girl in sort of North Cornwall, in round about 600 AD. And my last human lifetime, I was one of the village elders, female, the wise woman of the village, in somewhere in North America, round about the 1600s, early 1600s. In fact, 1616 is when I died in that lifetime, and that was one where I was burnt as a witch because I was unmarried and all the rest of it, and that's a different story for another day. But knowing those lifetimes and understanding the details of them has helped me see patterns in this lifetime. Let me give you an example. Money, right? My relationship with money has been complex, challenging, And I never understood why, because when you look at this lifetime, I grew up with, let's be honest, I had a reasonable amount of money around me growing up. I never really wanted for anything. And that not necessarily from parents, but, you know, grandparents and so on all pitched in. And I, you know, I've never really struggled, right? Put it that way. Except I discovered a pattern in my life where I have had money flowing to me, but I've always got rid of it again. I've always thrown it away. I've always, whether that was through, you know, I've had cycles of frivolous spending, unnecessary spending, literally throwing money away, giving ridiculous amounts to charity when I didn't really have that much in the bank, never ever making investments or big savings or anything like that. Money was there to be spent, to be got rid of. And I never really understood why. I'm just going to move around here a little bit. Never really understood why. And it wasn't through, you know, I don't believe that money is particularly good or bad. It's just an energy. It's a currency. It's an exchange. It's a form of measurement. That's all it is, like time. It doesn't really exist other than as a concept and as an exchange of energy. But why my whole life, if I look back, I can see patterns through my whole life, even since childhood, being really uncomfortable if people, like, I remember when I was a teenager, my grandparents gave me £100 for my birthday once, and I was so uncomfortable with that. I was like, why? I don't want it. I don't want their money. And that was a big deal for me. It felt really uncomfortable being given money, and I never understood why. Why was that? And eventually through working through my past lifetimes, I discovered why. And there is a pattern. In all three of my human lifetimes, money was the reason why I suffered. So in my first lifetime, I was taken from my family and put into slavery to work on building the new temples with their shiny gold and all their affluence, and out of my natural role in the forest as a hunter and providing for my family. And aside from the trauma of the slavery wound, there was also a money wound, because I associated my enslavement with sacrifice to the gods of money, and I wasn't okay with that. That was the first one. My second lifetime, I was a peasant girl. I had a twin sister, and I was very, very happy living in my village. And I was taken from my family by the local landowner, lord of the manor. I don't know what his title would have been there then, but he paid my parents for me. And he was a kind-hearted man. I don't blame him at all. He was as much a product of the system as I was. And he took me and he set me up in a life of luxury in his manor house. It was another form of slavery, let's be honest. I wasn't allowed out. I didn't see my family ever again and all the rest of it, but I lived in comfort and luxury. I even had a child which was taken from me moments after she was born. Because it was felt that because I was a peasant, naturally, she would have a better life if she was given to the childless wife of another landowner, which is what happened to her. Now, it was done with the best of intentions and for the benefit of that child, to give her the best life possible. But for me, I had my daughter ripped out of my arms minutes after I'd given birth to her. And I was recompensed with money, with luxury, with all the finest fabrics and furnishings and all of the things. And I associated receiving money with losing the love of my family. Initially my parents and my twin sister, and then my daughter. In my last lifetime, I was a spinster. I was an unmarried woman, and I was sacrificed by my sisters, 3 sisters, to the new, greedy, new world order, patriarchal system that was coming in at the time, and I was trying to uphold the old beliefs. And I was burnt as a witch for that. And I again saw the money and the power being the cause of my sacrifice, and what was corrupting the tribe and the young ones coming up through and losing the old ways and all of those things. You know the narratives. And I associated that with money. And so I carried this loop, this karmic loop, through all of those lifetimes into this one, until I was able to connect with my soul self and actually look at those past lifetimes and see the pattern and heal those wounds. And I have done that work. I've healed all of those wounds, and now I don't have a problem with money anymore. Excited spaniel over there. People are trying to disturb us talking about this stuff right now, and that's deliberate, I tell you now. But anyway, I might just move around here a little bit so he's slightly less loud. Blocked by the tree. Thank you, tree. So my story, by knowing my past lifetimes, I've been able to heal those money wounds, which means that now I don't reject money when it comes to me. It means I'm available to receive money now, whereas before I wasn't. And even in my childhood and my teens and I'm going to be honest, until actually within the last couple of years, I've not wanted money. I've had this sense of, no, I don't want that. I mean, I suppose it's needed to make the world go round, but because I've got bills to pay, and yes, also human, and things to do, and mortgage companies and things like that, but I don't want it. And since I've healed those wounds, that's completely changed. That's allowed me to step into a place where I'm going, no, I want money because it will enable me to do more things. You know, it will allow me to have the freedom to reach more people and have more impact on the world. If I have money, I can then do more good with it. And it keeps it out of the hands of those that wouldn't do good with it. And for me, that's a benefit. And I've only got to that place because I've healed those past life wounds. So I've rambled on a bit about my own story, but your past life stories will have cycles and patterns in them as well. And that's why I believe it's really important to do this past life work. Now, one of the things I also love about the Akashic Records, rather than other means that you can work with past lives, and there are other methods, one of the ways that the reasons I like the Akashic Records for it, that dog is very noisy. Move around here. Is because in the Akashic Records, you are only ever shown what you are ready to deal with in that moment. If you're not ready to deal with it, you don't see it, you can't find it. If I'm working in your Akashic Records, I will not be allowed by your guys to see things that you're not ready for. That's the beauty of working in the Akashic Records. That's why I've considered them a really safe way of doing this kind of work. And it heals the Akashic, any energy blocks, any negative cords, any soul contracts can be released and healed, karmic debt can be repaid, and so on. And it's a really powerful tool, and it's the way that I choose to do it. That's what you would get when you come and work with me as well. But for me, past lifetimes are really, really valuable in helping you see and understand the patterns that show up in this lifetime that might otherwise not make sense. You know, there will be people in your current life, maybe even family members, that's quite common, that you have past life connections with. And you hear about it a lot, people showing up in multiple lifetimes as, you know, maybe even your life partner has been your life partner in several lifetimes. That's a really common thing. That's not true in my case, but that's okay. My husband is actually, you know, is not someone I've encountered in previous lifetimes, but there's reasons for that, and I do know what those are, but he doesn't, so I'm not going to share them here. But it's really common to meet people, you know, if you ever get that sense of, you meet someone, a complete stranger somewhere, and you think, you're really familiar. In fact, I remember when I met my twin sister from my second human lifetime, in this lifetime, and they do know who they are. There was an instant connection. We'd never met before. We were actually on a retreat together. We'd never met before, and we just instantly, we knew each other. And in fact, we discovered that many of our experiences in this lifetime have actually been really, really similar and really parallel, because we were both traumatized by that separation that was forced on us when we were probably early mid-teens. I'm guessing a bit on the age there, but yeah, in that peasant village when I was taken from my sister, and we were so deeply bonded. And we know who we are now in this lifetime. We know each other, we've met each other, and it was like instant connect. It's like, I know you. In fact, by the second day of the retreat, we were sitting holding hands. What? This is a stranger I've never met. I was in a room full of strangers I'd never met before, and she was the one that I was sitting holding hands with, because we knew each other on a soul level. We'd met before. We'd spent time together. We'd loved together. And that's the power of past life work. It can bring you these things. So if you start seeing meeting people or situations that just feel familiar, it could be a past life pattern playing out. It could be a signpost from the universe that there's something there for you to look at. And if you want help with that, please do reach out and let me know, because that's what I'm very, very good at. We can go into your Akashic Records and we can see what's ready to be released and healed. And if you have patterns playing out in your life that you just don't understand, you've done all the work, you've done the psychology even, and you're ready to heal and you don't know why you're still being held back, maybe it's a past life pattern playing out for you. Yeah, if you want to book a session with me, please do reach out. Drop me a message below, and we can even have a call and see what's going to be best for you, depending on what you need. There's everything from card readings through to full-on one-to-one work, VIP work. So it depends where you're at. But let me know if you want to explore this, and I'll reach out to you privately, or send me a message if we're connected somewhere, and we can have a chat. And all this is coming out, and I want to finish this with one last bit, because when I'm recording this is, it's Wednesday the 11th of June, and just this morning was a Sagittarius full moon. It was about 8:45 a.m. roughly here in the UK, and it's the perfect time. It's such a big release. It's about coming home to yourself. This full moon is being in the truth of you at your soul level, taking off the layers and seeing your vision and your way forward without the ways you've been hiding yourself. So this is the perfect time to be talking about this. And when I always check in with my guides around what topics, because I have a number of different topics I could talk on, and they were very clear, this is the one you need to hear today. So someone watching this needs to hear this today, needs to hear my story, and I never plan what I'm going to say. It's always fully channeled in the moment based on what you need to hear. So I hope you found it interesting. Someone, at least one of you out there, probably, I'm guessing, I'm getting the sense more than one of you really, really needed this information today. So I am sending you that information with love, and hopefully with a bit of understanding for you on how it can help you. And we are moving into some of the most unprecedented, powerful times in the history of this planet. We really, really are. Last Friday we had the 6/6 portal. Oh my word, that was, wow, that was off the charts, monumental. And I had a very, very big task to do then, which we did, which was healing this planet that we're on, and it was very powerful. And as part of that process, my own skills and abilities have been upgraded significantly, because it allowed me to do that work. So I'm talking to you now in the most powerful I've ever been, and that's why I'm now going in and healing, easily healing galactic lifetime past life traumas, and sending healing and forgiveness to other people involved in, you know, if you know anything about them, the Orion Wars and things. I mean, this is big stuff, and I'm able to do that work at the moment. I'm at my most powerful ever, and that's a gift from Gaia for the healing work that we did last week. And I'm here to bring that to you. That's what I'm here for. So on that, I am also hosting a live meditation next Friday, week on Friday, on the 20th of June for the solstice. And this solstice portal is going to be epic. I mean, off the charts. And it's your opportunity to assimilate all the learning and growth that you've already done this year so far, and so that you are ready for what's coming from July onwards. Last week's video, I talked about some more of the cosmic energies that are happening and what's coming up for us. So I'll link that video in the text with this one, so you can watch that as well if you want. That's still very relevant. But I am hosting this meditation next Friday, on the 20th. It's going to be at 10 a.m. UK time, 10 till 11 a.m. It's going to be so powerful. It's going to be fully channeled, and it's really going to help you heal and feel really solid in your foundations as you move through the solstice portal. It's going to be like mind-blowing. It really is. I already know that. I've already got a sense of some of it, and it's wow, it's going to be off the charts. This is me at my most powerful, and it's incredible, and I'm here to bring it to you. That's what it's about. So if you want to join, if you can't join live, or if the time doesn't work because you're not in the UK, please do grab the replay. You will get the full benefit from it if you access the replay. It's £33. I can't do these things for free anymore, not because of the level of power and commitment that it takes, but also because there's chat about that. Why is it not free? Because I have done free meditations before, and you can get those on my website if you want them. It's also because the way the energies are going right now, anyone can jump into a free thing. Anyone can jump into a free thing. And that includes people that really, really shouldn't be there, and people that will try and sabotage. And that's a very real thing at the moment with the way things are right now in this planet. So I have to charge, because it means there's then an energy exchange and a commitment from you to be there and to be part of this. But I'm hoping at £33 it's accessible for most people. If it's not, I apologise. But I have to trust what my guides advise me on this stuff, and the need for an actual energy exchange is really, really important right now, because it needs to keep it protected and safe for those of you who are there. Yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to explain that a little bit, because I did used to do free meditations, and now they're not, and there's a reason. It's not about me making money, despite what I was saying about healing my money wounds. It's not about that. It's about the energy exchange and the importance of keeping this protected and safe as a space for anyone who jumps in, including me, holding the space. So, right, that is enough waffle from me. I have talked a lot today. I hope you have found it useful. If you want to join my solstice meditation, the link is in the details with this video. I'll also link the last week's Wednesday wanderings as well, so you can find out more about what's going on cosmically in the energies right now, and that's still very relevant and will be for a while. So I'll put the link to that. I'll put the link to my website as well. If you're after another meditation from me, there are plenty on there that are free that you can access. So please do jump into those if you're not able to join us for the solstice. But if you are able to join us for the solstice one, this is going to be really powerful. So please do come along if you're able to. Please do, I always forget this, like and subscribe to my channel, because it really helps me spread the message to more people, and actually that's what it's about. I want to impact more people, because I want to help. I want to help you. I want to help you be free to be the whole of you, past lifetimes and this current lifetime, because the world needs you right now at your most beautiful and most powerful, shining most brightly. So I'm here to help you do that. So please do keep in touch, subscribe, like this video if it's been of use to you, and until next week, I am sending you so much love Take care, and I'll see you soon.